Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the JDnFerg show. We are going to kick off the NFC East, and we're going to go ahead and start off with the Washington Redskins. Now, their offensive ranks, they were 26th in points per game, averaging 18, 16th in total yardage with 336, 14th in passing yards at 235, and 25th in the rush, averaging 100.9 per game. Defensive ranks for the Washington Redskins, they were 21st in points allowed, so not good there, 22.9 per game. 13th in total yardage at 339, 12th in the pass, not too bad, 222 per game. And they were 18th in the rush, allowing 117.8 yards per game. My questions to you, Ferg. RG3, is he the answer?
Right now, yes. He's about the only thing they got to go on. What they had last year wasn't good enough, obviously. I mean, due to their stats. RG3 is going to come up at least double what they had from last year.
And then something else I wanted to point out also with the run game. They had a problem with the running back staying healthy last year. Everybody knows with the Shanahanigans that they never really know who truly is going to be the starter. With Hightower being out, everyone thought Roy Halou would be that guy, but as today was the first day of training camps opening up, actually Evan Royster took first team snaps while Halou took second string snaps. So, not sure if there's something to look into there, but Shanahan today did come out and say he wouldn't commit to who will be starting now. The free agency and then the draft, what did they do to improve? A lot of wide receivers.
Yeah, they did. Well, let's get back to some of their stats. Like, we'll break down the touchdowns. The rushing touchdowns, 8. Passing touchdowns, 19. Punt and kick returns, 0. Defense, 1. They ended up getting 41 sacks while giving up 41 sacks.
Can you break even in that category?
I guess you can.
Is that allowed?
And do you really want to take it to that level? Oh. And the turnover ratio was a meager -14. Complete garbage all the way around. I mean, yeah, you got 41 sacks. Congratulations. But yes, you gave up 41 too. I mean, it's just complete garbage all the way around on that stuff. You know, the draft. They did pick up RG3, their first round pick. Great job. They really needed it. They even picked up Cousins as the backup. Not bad. You know, he'll create into something long term, or even be a good investment now and give him away for a decent amount of dollars later. But overall, their draft was pretty decent. They had some pretty decent grades overall. So we'll only talk about RG3 in the draft for just right now. And signings. They ended up picking up Neil Rackers, Brandon Merriweather, Josh Morgan, Pierre Garçon, a couple good wide receivers, a good kicker, you know, a little bit of defense there too.
Good additions all around, trying to help that team out.
Right. And I do actually like all those. Those are pretty nice. I can't argue with any of those. The re-signings, Tim Hightower, London Fletcher, you had to.
Oh, of course.
The leading tackler in last year's NFL, and then Fred Davis. Fred Davis, expect big things from this year.
It's going to happen. It's just a matter of when.
Yep. Their losses from last year, Jabari Gaffney, Dante Stallworth, and LaRon Landry. LaRon Landry, to me, is a painful one. Jabari Gaffney, I think he'd be good in a more experienced place. And Dante Stallworth, I don't even know what to say. That's all I got on him.
All right, and then moving on to the Cowboys. Their offensive ranks, they were 15th in points per game, averaging 23.1. 11th in total yardage with 375. They were 7th in the pass at 262, and 18th on the ground with 112.9 average per game. Their defensive ranks, 16th with points allowed, allowing 21.7. 14th in yards allowed with 343. They were 23rd in passing yards allowed, allowing 244. But they were 7th against the rush, allowing only 99.1, so that wasn't bad. The question for them is, can the running back stay healthy? Felix Jones, gets injured. DeMarco Murray, even coming into the NFL, was known for getting injured.
Yeah.
And then another question that I have is Romo being under the gun. How can he handle the pressure? Because he's always put up decent numbers, but it seems like just when the pressure gets added on, it becomes too much.
Yeah. Yeah, postseason, my money's not on him. Regular season, he's not a bad bet. You know, he's putting up 4,500 yards this last season. You know, he had 33 touchdowns. You know, barely in a double-digit interceptions. His numbers are actually comparable to Eli Manning. He actually ended up with more touchdowns than Eli Manning. Not more yards, but more touchdowns.
Right.
So, you know, he is your guy. He's the guy you want there. He can get it done. When it comes to postseason, put the backup in or something to that effect. Whatever you got to do.
Hey, at least they got Orton now as a backup.
Okay, put back in Romo then. But yeah, they're running backs, man. They really got to do something about this. It's really, really killing them. Because, I mean, you got fantastic running backs. Stay healthy, dang it.
They just can't stay on the field.
Yeah. So, anyways, let's get to some of their breakdowns, their touchdown breakdowns. Rushing, 5. Oh, disgusting. Passing, 33 touchdowns. Punt and kick return, 0. Defense, 1. Sacks got, 42 sacks got. Very nice. 40 sacks gave, 39. It's one of your problems. Their offensive line was a little... It was kind of gross at times.
Just at times. Huh?
Just at times. And the turnover ratio, I will say, at least it was in the positive. It was a +4, so good job there. It's not all that to get crazy about, but at least it was positive.
There's worse in the league, is what he's trying to say.
And for some of their problems, I think they did a very... Cowboys is one of those teams that actually, in my opinion, did a very good job of drafting and picking up in the free agency exactly where they truly needed help. Their signings in this offseason: Brandon Poole, very good. Kyle Orton, Brandon Carr, very good. Lawrence Vickers, your running backs are having issues. Lawrence Vickers could help that.
I think if they would have kept Fiametta to begin with, that they wouldn't have had a problem. I liked him
there. If they would
there.
have used him, I agree, but they didn't use him. I think they actually went out and picked up Vickers for the purpose of using him.
But DeMarco Murray's best games rushing last year was when Fiametta was leading the way.
Right.
And you could see a noticeable difference with the games that Fiametta wasn't in there.
Completely agree. And I think that's why they went out and picked up a bigger body of Vickers, more dependable. He's been doing it for plenty of time. The guy's he's got the experience. So, anyways, some of their draft picks: Morris Claiborne, first round, fantastic pickup. They did pick up Tyrone Crawford. I really like this guy's defensive end. He did not make my top 5, which is probably pretty surprising to a lot of people, but there's a reason for that. You might figure it out in the season. If he even gets to play, Dallas got some pretty good defensive ends. But anyways, moving on. Re-signings: Anthony Spencer, good job. Kevin Ogletree, whatever. Lost Laurent Robinson, really.
That's the only reason they signed Ogletree again.
Correct. Robinson was a big part of your offense. When everybody else was lacking, he wasn't.
11 touchdowns. I mean, granted, Robinson was a nobody before last season when Dallas picked him up. But 11 touchdowns. You can't give the guy another year, see if he can get you up there again?
And he even came in and did most of that stuff literally midway to the end of the season.
Yeah.
So, I think they did a great job overall.
All right. And that's going to conclude our episode for today. So stay tuned where we will give you part 2 and break down the Giants and the Eagles. And until then, subscribe, share, and show you care.